and girls. They're a little bit behind at the moment, which is why I'm just loitering out here. Lovely evening. We seem to have what would appear to be some chemtrails, so maybe rain tomorrow, who knows, but yeah. And so yeah, anyway, I'm just trying to kill a bit of time, and I can see that there's 11 people on, so hello to those 11 people. Good to have you with us. Oh, we've just lost someone, so they obviously couldn't give a shit. Yeah, we're just killing a little bit of time, so I'm just going to see how far these people are coming. Just, so we have got some people here at the moment, but we're just waiting for it to start. And we got some, so yeah. So we're nearly there. So what have you lot been up to? I don't know, is anyone trying to talk? I'm not seeing any comments. Oh, we've got 30 people, that's jumped. Hello to everybody who's just started. I'm just explaining, we're running a little bit behind, as always, but I didn't want to be late, so I'm just killing the airwaves with my usual bollocks. So please do bear with me. I don't really do much ad-libbing. And yeah, just waiting for them. How is everybody anyway? Have you had a nice bank holiday weekend? Why am I getting comments? Or aren't people just making any... Let's have a look. Oh, there you go. Greetings. So, hello mate, how's it going? You alright?
I'm alright, you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you, not too bad. So that was actually Skibidi. I don't know whether you're familiar with Skibidi, but that's Skibidi. So I'm just killing time. Hello. There's all the riff-raff. We're just waiting. Oh, here comes. Here comes Carl. Here comes Carl. Okay. So just find people. I'll take you for a quick tour whilst we wait. So yeah. We should be ready in about 5 minutes. I have been informed. So that's the courtyard. It is actually quite a nice hotel. If I take it off my ugly face, and then you can actually maybe see more of it. Perhaps you can see some ghosts. There's a nice piano, which that's very nice. Hello, I'm live streaming. No, they're late. They're actually here. Follow me.
Okay.
So look, now I've become an escort. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Jolly good. Right, through here. Right at the very back, because...
Oh, I'm pleased I saw you.
Always sounds like... It reminds me of school canteen. Are you ready? And ladies and gentlemen, after you. Right. We're just waiting for Mark, which is not unusual. So yeah, we're just waiting for Mark. Let's say hello to Alan. How are you, Alan?
Very good, mate. Very good. Not enough hours in the day, as you know.
No, I hear you've been away somewhere nice.
Yeah, we just come back from Cromer. Pretty much. Yeah, only an hour up the road.
Only a what? An hour?
Only an hour away. Well, just over.
I suppose it is, yeah. Yeah. I just don't like the shingle for a sandy beach.
Yeah.
But Cromer is lovely, and their fish and chips are to die for. So
We had to book.
did you really?
Yeah.
Blimey, that's popular.
Oh, yes,
Am I in your seat? Right, hang on. I better move. I've just nicked Justin Hawkins' seat. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh no, it's still on me.
No,
There you go.
no, that's better. I'm not now.
This is Carl. Right, I'm still killing time. Jeff, say a couple of words. You're not scared of talking.
Well, I hope you're going to tune in tonight because we've got a lot to say, especially about the brutality that Zach's been put through with the corrupt police, councils and the bailiffs. So if you've stay tuned. There'll be some good showings of it on the old big screen, and yeah, just stick with us though, you know. So at least it's a live recording, so we can't get it all in. But make sure you watch this. There's some important information coming out.
Nice one. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Do you mind to stand? Here's the man himself.
How's it going, mate?
Hello, everyone. Right, you ready? Are they here?
Not at the minute. I'm leaving the main office at the moment.
Well, we're just apparently right. Apparently, I don't know if you heard that because it's quite noisy in there. We're waiting for a couple of reform, not MPs, reform councillors to turn up because they were going to say something. So I think that's what the hold up is. So come on, Nigel, sort it out. Right. Right, what's everyone saying? Get Brendan Kavanagh playing, yeah.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to give it another 5 minutes because we were expecting the Reform councillors to be here tonight, which is, I hope you all comprehend that. If we can launch the Reform councillors with questions that we bring up in this forum, in at the council level, it's like being behind enemy lines. So I just want to give them another 5 minutes to see if they turn up. Because if they don't turn up, it gives us a little bit of a dilemma. So patience, please! Drink beer. Look at the lovely people sitting next to you.
Yeah, go and stick the kettle on. Or have a beer. Run my case of shandy, because I'm driving and I have to be good. Yeah. I'm not really very good at all this small talk thing. You may have picked up on that. So we'll just have a look at a few more chemtrails. All whiskey. Whiskey's very good. Good evening, Stepper Style. Hello, Dr. Zeus. So yeah. It's sad really, because in some ways they're quite pretty, but in other ways it's just toxic evil.
We spotted a UFO.
No, we're looking at the chemtrails, Bob. Bob, come and save me. Come and talk. I've got 74 bloody bored people on it. Whatever the fuck you want. Do a skit, yeah. There you go. See, take that, Vobesy.
Oh yeah. Now I was just saying on the way over, I haven't seen one for about 3 weeks, and there's two directly above us.
Yeah. Go on, ad-lib, don't stop there.
Okay, right. There are many good reasons for drinking, and one has just entered my head. If a fella can't drink when he's living, how the hell can he drink when he's dead? Boom, boom.
Oh dear God. There you go, there's Bob Says. I'm surprised he didn't get the harmonica out yet.
You see these two bottles here?
I'm sweating like a... a lot. So it's a good room, nice turnout. And I recognise that guy. Oh dear.
Am I coming through okay when I talk? When I look at my phone?
Right, can everyone hear Mark? Go on.
Can everybody hear me when I talk on YouTube? Yeah. Give Chris a thumbs up. Can people hear me when I talk, or do I need the mic? Can hear you. No, it's YouTube.
It depends on ambience, really.
Not this way, please.
Hmm?
Not this way.
In a close-up? No? There you go, I'm going to lock it in place. There you go. So just mind yourselves. Right.
Jesus, sorry.
Hello, so tonight, I'm just actually going to pick my bio. So tonight this is Council Watch. Town Council. Come right. Submission over our money. So we're going to like to go to this Council Watch. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Thetford Council Watch. Now, we do not usually have a meeting tonight. We usually have a meeting next Monday, Tuesday, after the council have had their official meeting. However, they do not have a normal council meeting in August because they knock off for the summer. However, they cancelled July, for those of you who are not aware, because they felt that there was nothing to speak about, and they did not think that the people of Thetford would have had questions for them as their elected members. So they cried off and cancelled their last council meeting. So the Thetford Council Watch very, very quickly swooped in and had a Council Watch meeting on the same night of the cancelled council one in July, to give the people a chance to come if they wanted to and ask questions about what's going on. Hence the reason why we're here tonight on not our normal day, because the council are not meeting tonight. So we've decided to have this quick ad hoc meeting tonight. So that's what we're here, and with what's been going on in Thetford, we felt that we needed to meet. We did expect Reform to be in here, and for some reason there's nobody here from Reform, but we'll crack on. Can I just ask in the audience how many people are new to what we would call the truth movement and what is actually going on? Right, because some of the stuff we're going to speak about tonight and explain, we'll have to go slow with Bob, Jeff, and get across to some of these.
That didn't come across very well. We'll have to go slow, Paul.
Jeff, and myself. So basically, I'm going to go into the agenda. We always have an agenda. I haven't had time to print enough off because I came in late from work. My printer didn't have enough ink in and run out of paper. So I've just done enough. So just to make it official, we do have an agenda. So I'd just like to say thank you to the volunteers who are sitting around the table and who do volunteer to be on the Thetford Council Watch. Thanks very much for turning up. I've had an apology from Barbara. She's either not arriving or running late. I don't know what's going on. Sean Stevens has resigned. Yeah. So there's the apologies for absence. The minutes, any minutes from previous meetings, anything that has happened at the Council Watch meetings in the past, held at LSB, or Roy who's in here has got copies as well. And I do have copies of all the old agendas if anybody wants them. You've all had a chance to look at the agenda. There's nothing on there that you think you need to withdraw from. No. Right, so the first thing that we're going to look at on the agenda at the minute is the unlawful removal of the caravan in Thetford. Now, the way we're going to do this, I'm going to give you a quick introduction. We're then going to say a little bit about data and SAR. We're going to show a couple of film clips and we're going to have questions and answers. Now, what I want the audience to do, when we put the film on, if there's something that you don't comprehend, put your hand up and ask us a question. We'll stop the film and basically us people up on the top here will then endeavour to answer the question. Because there will be some things that you don't know. Don't be shy. just put your hand up and I'll know straight away that we need to stop. Right, the introduction, we have in Thetford what is called the, what's it called? Rapid response. Right, for those lads at the back, rapid response started up north and we've got lots of little local ones all over the country. And when debt collectors turn up with the police, the rapid response turn up whoever's available and try and sort the situation out with the knowledge that we have, which is different to the system, yeah. So basically I was lying on a beach with my lovely wife last week and the rapid response in Thetford was actioned. And my wife wanted to know why I'd started swimming 2 miles. No, but basically it went viral, the Zach's caravan. Now why is it important? I had a barbecue yesterday and there were some people from our movement at my barbecue, which was ad hoc. And they felt that the caravan was a bit of a red herring. And I listened to what was said, and in the end I disagreed because I've always said that every presentation that we have gone to, I've always said the fight is local. We've got to fight at the local level, not at the national level. We've got to fight at the local level. And what's going on with this lad's caravan, if that's not local, I don't know what is. Yeah. So I think we can squeeze nationally and we can squeeze local. Bob, you want to say something, yeah?
No. All I was going to check is, can the people hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had a bit of
On there, yeah, brilliant, right, yeah. No, you bang on. That goes with, you know, Graham Moore said it as well, doesn't he? You know, everything has to start local. You can't go to the doors of number 10 and start banging on the door and demanding. It's got to start local, and then more and more people get on board, and away you go.
Can I just ask how many people are not aware of what happened with the caravan in the room last week in Thetford? You're all aware. Is there anybody? Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to put the film on. Sorry, Terry.
Can I just say that I speak for myself and Aaron. We're here because we're aware of what happened. You know, I'm from Ipswich, he's from Bury. You know, and even if it had been Cornwall, we would have come because we feel we've got to support Zach and you guys and the rest of you guys that live in Thetford. We're all together.
Thank you. Cheers.
But what we... Yeah. Especially, I'm going to use the word novices because we still don't fully know what's going on ourselves. We're all stumbling in the dark at the minute and we're starting to realise and comprehend stuff that we didn't know a few years ago. And that's given us the ability to fight back against this corrupt system. So what I'm going to do at the minute is I'm going to play the film. It's a second film that Chris has put on. And please, anybody, put your hand up at any time and stop the film and want to have a talk about it. And I think if we think we should stop the film.
So I hope everyone's well today. Thank you everybody who has watched, shared and commented on Zach's video. It's very much appreciated. It certainly helps the channel out and it certainly helps spread the message of corruption and bullshittery that we all seem to be facing at the moment. With that, I have decided to start a GoFundMe for Zach just to help him get him on his feet for the next couple of weeks to a month maybe. So if you want to help with that, then please do check out the link in the video description. It would be gratefully received, and I'd like to perhaps do a video on that at some later date. I've got a video to show you. Now, I know you've seen my video. This is Bob's version, because when I'm out and about and I'm going here, there and everywhere, there was a lot of what Bob was saying that you couldn't hear because I wasn't near him. So this is basically, if you like, a behind-the-scenes version because there's a lot of me on it, and you can look for yourself and you can hear things that you may have missed in my version. So that's why I'm playing it. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think, share that as well, and look after yourselves. I'll speak to you again soon. Bye for now.
Do you know about Mackenzie Friends? No. This is where it's going wrong. So, first of all, can I take your badge number and your name, please?
Your badge number's here, 1866 Cricket.
Great, thank you. Now, I just saw you guys pushing this out of the way. You might want to have a read of that, mate.
I'm not going to be reading anything.
Really? Right, well, you need to get a sergeant here, please, mate. Right, I'm going to read it out for...
I'll put you onto the board.
Well, I was going to say, again, before this video even started, I'd even called 999 for the sergeant, so this wasn't the actual first time this had happened, even though Bob had just turned up, because that hasn't actually been put out yet. I actually rang 999, and they would not have none of it.
Yeah. So you listened throughout. I asked for a sergeant 7 times. For you, Section 26 of the Criminal Justice and Courts Act 2015 makes it illegal for a police officer to improperly use his powers and privileges. This includes constables, police force constables and special constables. Excuse me. Right. Do you give me permission to speak to these? No, I'm not going to move anywhere. Don't. Right, right, excuse me guys. No, I'm going to... No, you've got a caravan here, haven't you? Right, we need a sergeant. Excuse me guys. Excuse me guys. Guys. Right, now. Right, so... Right, excuse me. Excuse me. Now, what you're get off of me. He's touching me, sir. Right. You need to read this. I've just seen you and your guy assisting these guys. Right. This paperwork here.
At the moment.
I'm gonna have to read this to you.
It's not the moment.
I'm gonna have to read this to you. Section 26. He's got to stop touching me. He's got to stop touching me. This is assault. This is assault.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to stop it there. Are you all aware of what a Mackenzie friend is?
No, I'm not.
Right. Now, whenever you go into the legal system, they always ask if you want a solicitor. You can have what's called your Mackenzie friend, who is a lay person who can speak for you legally, lawfully. So basically, if you've got your Mackenzie friend, they should be listening to him in the same capacity, in effect, as the solicitor.
That's not quite right. The Mackenzie friend advises the client. It doesn't do the speaking, and you'll find judges will reject listening to a Mackenzie friend.
Yeah, some do and some don't.
Okay.
I've been into a court where they've listened to the Mackenzie friend. It's actually up to the judge.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You have to have the right to audience, don't you? To be able to talk.
Yeah, now it all comes down to the audience. Now, what we're saying here is, what Bob's doing is, Bob is introducing to the Bobbies,
Which I consented.
yeah, Bob is introducing paperwork which is imperative to what's going on. And he's acting in a capacity as a Mackenzie friend.
Okay.
Now, what the police have done is the police have taken their right to ignore him.
I'm not sure that's a right.
Say that again, sir?
Yeah, it's not their right to ignore me.
No, we pay them.
It's unlawful.
But what I'm saying is, because Bob is a Mackenzie friend and he's not a solicitor, they've ignored him because they don't know what a Mackenzie friend is.
See, and that's what I said right at the beginning, and this is where it's going wrong straight away.
Yeah.
The fact that they don't know what that is.
See, they don't know what a Mackenzie friend is. Now, what we're talking about here is the circumstances. If Bob says to the policeman he's a Mackenzie friend, the policeman who should be doing an investigation should be duty bound with common sense to listen with what Bob's got to say. You with me? No, he hasn't. But what I'm saying is some people in here do not know what a Mackenzie friend is. So I'm not talking to the initiated, I'm talking to the uninitiated. You're all happy with a Mackenzie friend, ladies?
And the name Mackenzie comes from a prior case, I presume?
Not quite sure on that. I would say it probably is, but yeah. Do you know, when we all get half an hour now, we'll find out the answer to that one, because that's a good question. Then I've just come out the shower scrubbing soot off myself.
That metaphor.
Of course it's assault.
You've got to move on to the highway. Well, I'm still in conversation with
You're touching it as well now.
I am, yeah. Because you're obstructing the highway.
Right, okay, I'm going to play them. Right, excuse me, sir. Listen, this is why you need to contact a sergeant now. Section 26 of the Criminal Justice and Courts Act 2015 makes it illegal for police officers to improperly use their powers. Are you listening? Are you listening? To improperly use their powers, okay, and privileges. This includes police constables, special constables and transport police. You're not listening. Right, the offence is committed if a police officer improperly exercises their powers and privileges or knows or should know that the exercise is improper. Now, we've got evidence that the documents being served did not come from a court. Right. Okay. Yeah. So that's the document, basically. So any or here is something that we could have typed up on our own computers. There's no stamp. It's a photocopy anyway. Although it's been signed through a photocopy, we had to decipher who this person was, and it turns out it's I've forgotten her. It turns out she's a chief magistrate in Norwich. But it doesn't get rid of the fact that this is a photocopy and there's no stamps on it. This hasn't been through, this didn't come out of court. This was printed by the council. So now the council have no judicial powers whatsoever. None at all.
Local Government Act 1888.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to introduce, for those of you that don't know, the experiment that me and Bob are presently going through. Basically, we both haven't paid our council tax this year. I got summoned to court 3 weeks ago in Norwich, and Bob was summoned to court in Bury. Bob turned up in person, and I got on the phone. And the same thing happened to both of us, one on the phone, one in person. I phoned up the court in Norwich and said, my name's Mr. Taylor, and I'm due there today. I've only just got the letter, I'm late. Can I apologise? I can still get there, but I haven't got a time to be there. And they asked me for my name. This happened to Bob in person in Bury. They asked me for my name, and after 5 minutes I was told by somebody in the court that I wasn't on any court list to be heard that day. He then said, I'll verify it with the database of your date of birth, which I gave him. And 5 minutes later he said, Mr. Taylor, I can assure you, you are not in our court today. He then said, can I ask what you thought you were coming here for? And I said, council tax. And he went, right, yeah. There's loads of them. He then told me that the council hires a court and hires magistrates and filters 500 people through in one day. Now, when the majority of people don't turn up, and now those that do without the knowledge damn themselves, and we end up with what's called a liability order, which is produced by the council, and it was outlawed in 2003. So what we're finding is the council is procuring its own paperwork to come after us, the people. Now that's what Bob's talking about at the minute in relation to this. The council has procured its own paperwork. You were going to say something?
It's also illegal under the Local Government Act, Section 78. The council are not allowed to act like a court or any judiciary.
But what they are doing is they are acting as a court and judiciary. They are producing paperwork that they should not be doing.
Yeah.
Now, we've had it with the council tax. What's happening with Zach here at the minute is the debt collectors or the enforcers have turned up with paperwork that is not true paperwork. That's what we're trying to get across.
Yeah, so what they've done is they've turned up with paperwork, claiming it to be from a court. The orders have come from the council. The council have hired the bailiffs, but the council have no powers of delegation.
So it's all fake paperwork.
The whole thing is fake and fraudulent paperwork. So what you've got is it's actually the common law crime of uttering, where they're claiming to be something that they're not. So then you're talking counterfeiting, forgery, and it goes deep.
So what you're seeing in the film at the minute is Bob trying to tell the policemen and trying to tell these enforcers that what they are doing is being done incorrectly with not true paperwork. So that's what you're seeing at the minute.
Excuse me, sir. You need to call a sergeant. Right, before we go any further, can I take your name and your badge number? Can I take your name and your badge number, please, sir?
Yeah, my name's Peter Large, 1886.
Great, thank you. Excuse me, officers. You are now in breach of Section 26 of the Criminal Justice in Courts Act 2015. You need to listen to this because you are personally liable in aiding these guys. You are now in deep trouble. You could go to prison for 14 years for what you're doing now.
You need to move on the path. I'm blocking the highway. I'm stopping a police officer. I'm committing a crime. I'm not committing a crime.
You are committing a crime. You are aiding these guys.
I'm not. I'm trying to breach the means. They're trying to do their job.
Right, you haven't listened to anything. These guys have produced documents that did not come from a court. They did not come from a court. So one of the massive things that I've analysed this so many times, and you think about it. So what they're saying is that Zach's blocking the public highway, and yet when you look back at the Chris's video, you'll see that it's actually the police that drew Zach off of the grass onto the public highway. So they've actually instigated this.
Actually, they're good at that, actually.
Yeah,
At protest marches, they will watch where the cameras are, and they will assault people in between sort of things.
Yeah. So just going back to the grass bit, one of the big things that I picked up on from Chris's video is right at the very start, where Zach was stood in front of the van, both bailiffs assaulted Zach. Right? Now, at that point, the police should have stepped in and arrested the bailiff.
The officer said we're allowing them to do their job. Now, Bob, you've mentioned many times, have a look at this paperwork, read this. If they looked at that, they would have seen that the job that those bailiffs was doing was illegal.
Yeah.
That's why we
So they was allowing them to do their job, but they wasn't looking at why they're doing that job.
And that's why we wanted the sergeant down there. I said this before the video kicked off. But yeah,
because that's the thing. The sergeant knows that, but these monkeys down the bottom don't. They're not taught that.
No.
They're just told to go and do X, Y, Z.
And they're all young police officers now that don't know the ropes.
Yeah.
So this is where we've got to start having the confidence to confront them, based on our knowledge and what they don't know.
Right, you've now got a member of the public assaulting Zach. You've got a member of the public assaulting Zach there.
You're under arrest, breach the peace. I don't hope you've been breaching the peace when you're the fuckers accident in a truck.
You have not listened to anything I've said.
Stop resisting. You fucking cunts.
I'll tell you what, officers, you have caused this. You have caused this. You're in breach of your oath. You have aided these council workers and these bailiffs with documents that did not come from a court. Okay, council workers. Zach first contacted me when I was 15 minutes away and out of town. I was past the phone. I kept saying to Zach, shut up, give the phone to the councillor. The councillor, I said to her, have you got a proper court order, a validly executed court order, knowing full well she wouldn't have. And she said yes. I said, well, show it to Zach then. And she would not show it to Zach because it didn't bloody exist. Then, so she just got rid of the phone, and I had to tell Zach to shut up again, give the phone to the copper. And I read out that section 26 to the copper over the phone as well. And he ignored that there as well. And this is before he even got there, so.
Zach, you're under arrest for police. Please your arm now. Stop resisting. Zach, stop resisting.
Mate, resist. Fight him legally.
Zach,
Fight him legally.
place your hand behind your back. Zach, I'm going to place my hand behind my back with your fucking
You need a sergeant here, guys. Guys, you need a sergeant down here because you don't know what you're doing.
I haven't even heard anything you say maybe.
No. You haven't read him his rights or anything.
Place your hand behind your back.
You don't understand anything, Zach. Yeah. Yeah. So the reason we say you do not understand was just as a reminder, but Zach knows it anyway. But as soon, if a copper ever says to you, do you understand? No, you don't. Because you're immediately saying, yes, I stand under your authority. For those that don't know.
Verbal contract.
Yeah, for those, we can go into this further, you lads at the back especially. Whenever you're in a court or with a policeman and they say, do you understand what I've just said? If you say you understand, you have entered a verbal contract and you're now in trouble. So you never understand anything. This is how they locked up Lucy, what's her name? Lucy Connery, because she agreed to understand. She took all the legal advice and they fitted her up like a kipper. You don't take duty solicitors, you do not understand. The worst thing they can do is lock you up overnight, Jack. Me and Jack will tell you how to get through that. That's all they can do, is put fear into you. Because they can only do something if you agree to the contract, which is by you saying you understand. Sorry, Terry.
Something coming up here horrified me when he got that bar out.
Yeah.
And tried to physically, almost distort your body.
Now, I haven't seen it, but I reckon two of these coppers that were there have actually commented on Chris's YouTube.
Oh, really?
Apparently.
Oh.
I haven't seen it, you'll see it. I haven't seen it. Yeah. Now, one of them, I think he mentioned, he says, yes, we're allowed to do that, it's in our rules and this, that and the other.
Don't look right to me.
It ain't.
It's not right.
But you'll hear pretty soon on the law that I read out preventing that.
That bar just seems that to physically get your arms behind. If they can do that, they can do that. But to get an iron bar, and to physically force your bones to go to a position where they're meant to go.
Yeah.
They shouldn't comment on. They're not allowed to comment on that.
You shouldn't do, because it's an ongoing case.
It's an ongoing case and it will prejudice the case.
Absolutely.
And that, hopefully, they've shot themselves in the foot for doing that.
Yeah. And the first copper, Cricket, apparently he's commented on there as well.
They're told,
Yeah.
that's
Be interesting to evidence that.
Yeah. So basically the use of the ban, right, the way that we're using it, section 26 of the Courts and Criminal Justice Act 2015, that's torture. That actually comes under torture, that's life in prison for a copper.
Horrified me seeing that.
You've got that assistance, and I didn't hear any requests. So for somebody to get involved, I would think that's simple as all.
Yeah.
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 Because what you're doing is breach of your oaths.
That's horrific.
No, I watched this in sunny Skiathos with Mum and me playing in the background, and I explained to my wife at that point I'd have been locked up with Jack, because me personally, with my background, the minute I seen that pattern come out, I would have took control of that policeman and dragged them off and told them we'd done the assault. I would have made a citizen's arrest. That's me personally, just the lads know the way I am. So I would have been locked up 24 hours with him.
And the one's back there.
Jesus Christ.
Look, it's only for there.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
Very
It's a beast there. You're going to be banging shit when all said and done, Park.
Mark. Mark.
Surely tell you there's torture.
Now, before that officer got that baton out,
Speak up, Terry, just for him.
so before that officer got that baton out, what he should have done, if he cannot physically get Zach's arms behind, he should have called for backup and called for reinforcements, rather than two of them who can't cope with that situation, forcing it physically by using a weapon. So that's what in the end, that's what that was a weapon.
You also wasn't being aggressive either.
No, he was in a give up position. He surrendered.
A fetal position.
See,
Fair
just
play, Zach.
from an old military point of view, there should have been a warning. If you don't put your hands behind the back, I'm going to use my baton. You know, even though I still don't agree with the use of the baton, at least he gave him a warning. But
But there's no retaliation. If he was throwing a fist, that would be reason.
we'll just play a little bit more for them.
They've allowed these guys to take that with documents that did not come from a court.
Or why the police assisting them?
Right, I'm going to read something else to you now. With what you're doing with Zach now. Section 134 of the Criminal Justice Act 1988 criminalises the torture, defining it as intentional infliction of severe pain or suffering on another person, whether physical or mental, by a public official or someone acting in an official capacity. The offence carries a maximum sentence of life in...
We've got a point here from...
Who's the other woman involved?
She's in plain clothes.
Yeah, so you do have undercover policemen.
We had one here last meeting, didn't we, in the bar?
I'm quite surprised that she broke the cover there, because she didn't actually add anything to the thing, and she broke cover, just a thing from the old job, you know. So we all know who she is now.
Can I take your name and your badge number, please? Thank you, great, thank you.
It's a public place, you can. You where do you stand?
Excuse me, sir. Are you a sergeant? Oh, your badge? Yeah. Can I take your name and your badge? Right, this guy, I used to play rugby with. Yeah, so I was quite surprised to see him there. So, carry on. Because what you need to chat to a sergeant. What these guys are doing is you're in breach of your oaths. Yeah, I'll read it to you as well so that you're aware. Right, you guys need to read this. Section 134 of the Criminal Justice Act 1988. You need to go away and study it.
I've been in a bit in a quiet for a police office. Be out your I can't wait to see all your faces once it's all done with. Yeah.
Is there a sergeant here? Oh, that's handy. That's really handy. Because you're sergeant. That's so 7 times I've asked for the sergeant, right? When this was all over and Zach was off in the van, one of the bailiffs said there is a sergeant here. He's been sat in the van.
Oh my
God! Now that's only hearsay, so it carries no weight. But that's what the bailiff said to me.
Could it be the sergeant as well that we've got in other videos, aiding and abetting in crimes?
Possibly.
On camera.
He knew what was coming.
advice of banging to get up to
You happy?
Well, I'd just like to explain that character there is called Jack, and I've had good way. Just to explain how the situation went. Awful paperwork to launch what's happened. They've got then got a gang of enforcers, debt collectors involved, which I think we call La Roche.
The Roche, yeah.
La Roche. Now, La Roche are the heavies that you've seen on there. What La Roche did then was phone up a firm of they were called Lansons. So Breckland had triggered the debt collectors, La Roche. The debt collectors have phoned up Lansons in London, and because it's in East Anglia, Lansons have subcontracted that out to the is it RB?
Yeah.
Now that lad there is called Jack. He's a nice lad, both of us who spoke to him, haven't we? He's been fully thrown into this without knowing what's going on. His ugly mug now is all over YouTube, and he's getting threatened on the internet, and people are phoning him up and saying all kinds to him, which is understandable.
Privately hired police.
Yeah. Just to make sure that Dun & Bradstreet is a company there to make money.
Yes.
Whether it's fair enough or not.
Yeah.
So, you know, regardless of the law, I want to make money. Also, this guy, is he liable for anything? You know, at the end of it.
But within good standing, I would say, his hands are tied.
But, you know, these big companies could put him at the well, he's the one who dragged the carrot.
Mark? Yeah, I'm with you, and I'm just going to get Ned in first.
So just 30 seconds, why Breckland Council, AI, what's Breckland Council, why is it difficult to contact Breckland Council?
Well, basically, it was very hard to get through the gatekeepers to speak to somebody about a subject that they're responsible for. They've now introduced AI, and you have a 10-minute fight with some lovely sounded lady called Angela or something before you can even get to the first gatekeeper. So they're putting hurdles in all the time in order to drive your patients mad and hang the phone up.
Thank you.
You've got to take half a day off work to try and short anything.
Thank you.
And that's if they turn up.
The only issue I have with that young man is when Zach and I think another van parked across to try and stop getting out. By this time, that young man must know that what he's doing is wholly wrong. Regardless of earning money, Mark, he knows that what he's doing is wholly wrong. Now, what I would do, I would get out my van. So I'll phone my wife and say, "Come and get me. I'm not doing this job no more." That's me.
You've got a choice. Yeah. But that's the difference between someone who goes for the money and someone who's got morals, isn't it? We've all been there.
So although he might be a nice enough guy, he's still part of the problem.
What I would say on that, slowly, catchy monkey, because we've spoke to him, I've had a word in this shell like, now we've got to the 28th of September, on the paperwork, it's 28th September, so the plan is next week is to put a bit of pressure on Beverly, say how's it going, and basically we can put them on notice. We can say that we're going to like your firm.
Double check that date.
Yeah, well, we're going to check. We can show them, say what we can do is we give them time to stew, and then we put the pressure on. He with me and see if he will turn, because ultimately at the minute the caravan is in his yard. It's stolen property.
Yeah.
So he's under pressure from the people above him, and he's under pressure to get paid. Now, you know, it's been, I mean, my brother-in-law's died and everything this weekend. I've been up to Liverpool, so So trying to get a strategy on this, we haven't all been together, but I would say next week we'll introduce a bit of pressure onto the lad at the bottom who's got it, and then potentially say, look, we'll cover you off the firm above him, so he's juggling that from what I can see. So it's all about how much he's juggling further work off them against what pressure we put on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that is what we're going to be doing next week.
Can they crush Zach's caravan?
After the date, they could potentially nothing is paid, yeah. Yeah, they could. That gentleman there,
I think it developed from common purpose, how that central corporation, sometimes called Parliament, have been connecting and bonding all these different corporations together. And at this point, you get emails to people who work at councils and stuff, how to manipulate, circumvent the process. And if you look at the adult court bench book for this year, you'll find the judiciary are teaching the judges that people feel confident that they can abuse the legal system.
I totally agree with it. Now, welcome to the old UKIP, I would say. Because the old UKIP, we were all over common purpose. I won't go into common purpose at the minute for those who don't know it. But it is enemy spies behind the lines. And as a man who's been behind the lines for real, I'm fighting this every day.
Okay.
And you are, they're all common purpose trained, and they will all back each other up. I agree with you. But this is why we've got to wake the people up.
Let me add one thing to that. Like I said, I lived in America, so some of my legal stuff comes from there. But it's not uncommon for people to go after the police departments for failing to train the police in the first place. And those police should have been trained.
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to go into that in a minute. That is coming further on what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
But is there anybody else got any comments so far on what we've seen? What I would say, the fact that we're having meetings like this, it's going out on YouTube, everybody's capturing this on their phones. The great thing about these phones, which was meant to enslave us, we're getting everything. And you can see the look on that lad's face now, he's embarrassed. Film everything, find out what's going on and stand up, and then as we start putting it onto the internet like this, we can start forcing our hands.
It was actually the bailiff that said to him, shut your window.
Was it?
Yeah.
And it was all over this caravan. He's on property that doesn't belong to anybody.
It's in the demolition, man. Have a look at it.
Thing is, officers, the boundary that the Breckland Council are contesting finishes at the little fence that you saw. Breckland are in charge of the little car park and up to the fence. They're not in charge of that land that you just removed him from.
That little piece of land, I've been chatting to people, you know, they have a park run down there. I reckon that bit of land hasn't been cut for over 10 years.
Probably not.
So if that was Breckland's land, I mean, you think they'd have been doing something about it?
And if there's only a footpath in between it, you're telling me you're driving past that all the time and not cutting it? No, I ain't joking.
Let's just explain for those that don't know. Everybody in Thetford knows the Priory car park. And just next to that, there's a little plot of land, not very big, just before the fence that goes into where the deers are. Now, from what we can see, is that's unclaimed land, and that's where Zach put his caravan. And what he's done is he's actually cleaned it up and made it look better. We've also turned his caravan into what we call the TCP, the Thetford Community Project. And what he's doing is he's putting fruit trees in there, he's grown stuff. The idea is passerbys can get some fruit, get some vitamin C into them. Any of the kids that come along with the mums and dads, he'll show them if he's there how to pot and plant. So it's a nice little community project, and basically the day for storing the stuff to look after the project. Now, from what we can see, we thought that the area might belong to English Heritage, who own the Priory. Now, if it does belong to English Heritage, and they're also a corporation, it looks like they don't want to pay any money to get rid of them. So we think what they've done is they've asked Breckland to take this.
Unless they've got a written contract between English Heritage and Breckland, Breckland has no right to do it.
But what we can see
A
on the
verbal contract doesn't work for that.
but on the maps we've seen, Breckland don't own that.
They
land.
don't, as far as I can do it. When I was on Breckland, I looked up a lot of the land in Thetford, there are parts of it that don't belong to anybody. And that is one of the ones that is not listed. The only person that could claim it is probably English Heritage. And they, as far as I can tell, they have had nothing to do with it.
So that's one of the other reasons why we put Jack back on there when he got out of jail with the tent, because he's still pushing the point of who does this land belong to, and that's a point we've got to keep on.
Yeah, now there was paperwork went in about that as well. The first map that they put up on a tree on the land not connected to that land, but that's by the by, you could see that it wasn't an actual land registry map. What they'd done is actually you could see where the mouse had wiggled down the red lines. They'd actually physically put that in. It was only the second lot of paperwork where there was a solid line over it.
So we're still trying to figure out why they're coming after Zach when it's not their land.
Right. Is it possible for freedom of information requesting to find out who actually owns the land, and if there's any deeds, because the deeds will be somewhere, because
No, the lads are on that now.
because the deeds will be somewhere in the vaults of Breckland Council or somewhere.
You can ask land registry if you want.
Yeah,
we're doing
on that.
We're doing that. We're in that is all ongoing at the minute. We're putting it together.
Well, I mean, with that chain link fences, what is it?
That is the edge of the Watermeadows boundary.
Boundary fence?
Yeah, that is the boundary
The
fence,
boundary
yeah.
fence. And what would you put a boundary fence up if it wasn't a boundary?
If it wasn't a continuation, yeah. Yeah,
We've
absolutely.
got them on the run.
You'd be surprised how much land there still is in Thetford that's not been claimed by anybody. An example is the car park in the middle of town, you know, the marketplace.
Market Square.
That was not claimed by anybody. I happened to find out that it was a piece of land that wasn't registered to anybody. I brought it to the attention of the town council at the time, and we registered it. And Breckland threatened to sue us for registering and go to court, but they gave up in the end because they had no case. So that big lump of land was nobody's for years. The only reason I found out it was nobody's because I said to the Breckland Council, are you going to come on and do something about the way these people are parking? Are you going to ticket the people in the parking area? And they said, Dennis, we can't do that because it's not our land yet. We're going to register it in the future. And I said, right, thank you very much for that information, and went straight to the council for the council to register it. And that's why the council. Well, before I was involved in this.
Was that coincidentally about the same time when it stopped being a car park?
Yes, yeah.
No, that was later on. It stopped being a car park.
No, what we're trying to get,
in that too.
what we want to get across to the people who are listening and those at home is, there's parcels of land all over the place. We're just talking about our town. Now, usually, once it's been discovered that it doesn't belong to anybody, there's a fight between the different levels of council.
Take it over.
Norfolk County, Breckland District, and Thetford Town. So there's usually a fight between the three levels of council, who incidentally are all private companies. The problem we've got is Zach a man has put his caravan on there, and I think that they're terrified of the fact that a normal man is on the land and potentially he could get a bit of land.
Could claim it.
You know, that is allegedly, that is one of the things I think is behind it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, I'll just give it another couple of minutes.
And we've got the documents to prove it.
We've actually got a map to show. You don't realise to be found. You feel a bit stupid here. You feel a bit stupid here. A bit more stupid than stupid.
I'd just like to throw in this minute the police, something like that. I don't know, especially the young fellas in here and the older good, still good-looking ladies. Policemen many years ago all looked the part, they turned up with authority. I mean, what have I got down here? The police now turn up. I'm not going, you know, the girls look like they're going on out club and make-up, earrings. The police are standing around with hands in their pockets, they're slovenly, there's no headwear on. These people are very badly trained. They have no presence and they are being recruited on a set of guidelines that fit what they're being used for by the people above them.
A home economics degree.
Yeah. And you can see, you know, I feel sorry for them sometimes because they are just badly trained and being given bad advice.
Stormtroopers. Stormtroopers.
Well, it's like what you just said, Mark. You know, I think that female copper said to use that, shut up.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's no control in the voice. You know, there's no authority in the voice. It's just basically speaking as a layperson.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You know, just I'd say as an ex-squaddy who'd done 7 years in Northern Ireland, we'd stop traffic all day. You still treated people with respect. Excuse me, sir, madam, I'm sorry. We have the authority, but we don't talk to people the way these policemen are talking to people. They have no confidence, they have no standing, and they are being misused by the people above them.
You've got to listen to what we're saying. We're the public, they work for us. Quite right. We're also working for them. Speak to them and then get back to us. What part of the council? No idea. You have no idea.
Can I tell you about the documents that they've served?
It's a section 77 notice.
Yeah.
And this is a section 78.
Right.
It goes to magistrates, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, we've contacted the magistrates and the county courts, and none of them have issued any orders against that. None of them have issued.
This is what we've been given.
Right, very important. Remember what I said before about me phoning up and Bob turning up in court for the council tax? And me and Bob are being told down the phone and in person when he's there, you're not here today. Your summons doesn't exist. You are not here today. However, we then find out there's a secret deal being done on the table privately where they're hiring a court and hiring a magistrate. Now, there's nobody being hired here, but what we've got is secret paperwork being produced by the council without going through the correct system.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right, and that's what we're acting on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is why they wouldn't give Zach a court number.
Take it up with them.
You're personally liable.
You're liable because you're following fraudulent documents.
That's what we are acting on. Section 78 notice.
Okay.
I've told you what the notice is and what they've told us.
Can I see them? Would you let me?
Why won't the court numbers go? Why won't the court numbers go?
See, I can print this off my own computer. This
Section 78, Criminal Justice and Criminal Act, is issued by a magistrate.
So, and whose is the signature on the bottom? Is that the magistrate? Is that a magistrate's signature?
By whoever has found it.
See, to grant authority. Yeah, so this is the vote of contention, is that the courts have been contacted and no magistrate has issued an order.
They may very well have done, right, but
just for your own information, I've had this 3 weeks ago myself, where the courts, I had this myself where the courts are completely unaware of what the council are doing. I turned up at the court and they didn't even know why I was there.
But that is for the courts to take up with the councillors, not the agents acting on behalf of the...
Yeah, but you're acting on behalf of a council that is
a bona fide acting section.
It might be an act in a section, but all legislation was wiped out, null and void in 1973 when the Queen was removed from her position as monarch. You know, I could go deep on this, but just for now, so you've got a piece of paper. No, her title was changed to head of state because of it. Right. So, but just on this issue now, so you've got a piece of paper that I could have printed off myself, and you're acting on that. What the bone of contention is that we know that the councils have issued documents claiming them to be from a court
The courts have been contacted and the courts have not issued any orders. And that's the bone of contention. Now these guys, the police as well, they've actually now been complicit in that crime.
But that's for you to take up, isn't it?
Absolutely.
To take up, one with the local police, one with the local police.
So what we've done is we've bypassed lawful procedure in favour of bringing out the heavies to...
That's what you are saying.
Yeah.
We will say otherwise.
Yeah, but basically that's what's happened in...
What I've just witnessed,
Yeah.
Right,
I would say
Yeah, I'm his Mackenzie friend, yeah.
What do you want to do? So he's got all his property down there?
What's happening to his caravan?
That'll go in storage.
Right, okay.
So at least it's safe.
Yeah.
But obviously, we did give him the opportunity to put his stuff away. He didn't. Wait, so there's a lot of stuff sat outside.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, what happens now is the caravan gets taken away and sack gets taken away, so it's the last things. What, go on, Bob.
Go on, there was something else that bailiff said, just run it for a second.
Run it, yeah.
Been through anything?
Right.
Personnel, I don't know.
Oh, what, so it's
It's worth a photo in the background. Anyway, carry on. We'll get it later. Okay.
empty kind of thing?
No, he's obviously removed. So he's got a lot of plants.
Right, okay, okay.
So he's took care of them, so I'm sure he
Yeah.
doesn't want to just let them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff in bags.
Yeah.
There's his kitchen, wigwam stuff.
Yeah.
So yes, he's obviously got his phone and keys.
Yeah.
Well, that's also his property, so I don't know what you want to do.
I'll have a look down there and see what's what.
Right, okay.
Yeah. I was just saying to your colleague here, you know, what's happened is we know that through phoning the courts, no court has issued any orders against Zach. That's fact. We know that because we've spoken to them. And so basically what's happened is it's a case of bringing in the heavies to resolve the problem instead of doing it in a lawful manner.
And if wasn't tried to deal with him.
Yeah, but he's still got stuff going through. He's still running through it.
I get that.
And that's been overwritten by a piece of paper that isn't an official document.
There's no judge's signature.
Has to be a judge. Of course it does. This is why I wanted the sergeant down here. Yeah, but the magistrate hasn't issued any orders.
Right. They signed it, so somebody's issued it.
Somebody.
Right.
Yes, somebody. And that is the process that we're in. And what they've done is instead of
Also, she approached you and she said to you, he's Mackenzie friend. So someone that you said to earlier has told her, because she wasn't there when you
She said, yeah, when she said, are you his friend? Yeah, no, I said Mackenzie friend.
I swear she said it first. Yeah. It's what I heard, I don't know.
But again, what we want everybody to take away from that is what just come out there is. He said somebody has signed it.
Somebody.
It's not being signed by a justice of the peace in their correct position. It's not being signed by a magistrate in the correct position.
The office sweeper.
And it's not being signed by a judge, and it should be stamped. So it's gone through the lawful process. It's just somebody is signing things. And we will get to the bottom of it, believe you me.
Probably the tea lady.
The tea lady. Yeah. Now, do you want to let it run a bit?
That's fine, yeah. That was the last bit.
Yeah, now, what action do we take against the agents and what action do we take against the council? Now, you heard there what the agent said to Bob was, see the council. We've got paperwork signed by somebody, see the council. So, in effect, I'm looking at it from my point of view, and I haven't spoken with the lads. We've got to attack the council, and we've got to hold up the agents. Now, Chris's LSP's on fire at the minute. For those who haven't seen it, he's just I'm going to put a little bit on in a minute. He's just interviewed Peter up north for the democracy lad, and he's explaining about data and SAR. Yeah. Now, does everybody comprehend what SAR is? No. Right, Bob, do you want to explain that?
Yeah, right. Data subject access requests. So you can write to any company, any corporation, and demand every single piece of data that they hold on you. What you'll find is that say like a debt collector or something like that. you will ask them for illegally executed deeds of assignment to say, yes, okay, we've got the authority to come and get the money from you. But what you'll find is when you do these data subject access requests, they will send you all the piffle, all the shit paperwork, but the two important bits, or the one important bit, the deed of assignment, they won't let you have. So these are the little bits, the little tricks you need to know, because as soon as you demand this information, which they are legally obliged to give you.
Can I add something to that? I did a DSAR on the hospital. They gave me a file, and then I went back and did a second one, and they gave me another 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
And I don't think that even with the second DSAR, that they covered all the stuff.
Now,
so don't trust them.
On a personal front, right, this council challenge that we've both been in, right, over the last 2 years, I sent 24 legal notices to the CEO and 6 other people within the council. When I did my DSAR to them, they sent all the crap back that I'd already got. Yeah. And so I confronted them again and said, right, what about these 24 notices? Because that wasn't in the bundle. No, we definitely haven't got that. So I said to them, right, well, I've already been in contact with the Information Commission's office, and I'm going to take out a personal prosecution against every one of you. And what turned through my door? 24 notices, right, photocopies. Now the thing is, what that's done is that's proved that they are now in misfeasance in public office, and they are in breach of their 7 Nolan principles of public office.
You can ask for punitive damages.
Yeah, they're going to prison if I take this any further. But what I've done in the meantime is send them what they call an acquiescence by estoppel. Sorry, an estoppel by acquiescence. And basically saying to them, you've got 7 days to come back to me, and if you don't, if you contact me again, I'm coming for you. That'll be harassment. So it's just those little bits of, what we've discovered is although they're using this legislation against us, we do have the legislation that we can use against them.
This is what I'm trying to say, to slow these debt collectors up, you can ask them with the DSAR for all the information. Now that will slow them down. If they refuse to give you that,
they've got 30 days.
They've got 30 days. If they refuse to give you that, from what I've seen on Chris's interview today, for about £220, you'll get a lot of money coming back, because they cannot refuse it against the law. So if everybody starts putting in subject access requests, we will slow them up, I think. I'm looking at future strategy. So we've got to have potentially a template, not that we like, for the novices, to grind them to a halt. So my point is, we've got to slow the debt collectors down and get them thinking about, we don't want to get involved in this, and the main tack has got to go against the council.
Absolutely.
No, so we've covered the subject access request, and that they cannot hold your data, it's against the law. I just want to bring in the council tax aspects we've talked about, where they're producing their own paperwork, and related to what's happened with Zach, where they've produced spoof paperwork to get rid of them. And I just want you to listen to what gets said here, just to tie it all together,
Any of that, but still showing you how powerful GDPR is. Once we've actually done the debt process on GDPR, getting back to the first one we're talking about, because they never ever supply you with your data. The debt collectors just send you, we've sent you a notice of assignment, that's all we need. Right? It's not even correct.
But technically, who's at fault there? The council for selling the data on, or the debt collector? Because they've just bought the data, haven't they?
Are you talking specifically about council tax there, or
Well, anything bailiff related?
Well, because it's a different set of legislation between the council tax and like a consumer debt, which comes out of the consumer credit.
Well, let's go for the council tax one, because that seems to be quite a hot topic where everyone's interested. So
yeah, almost definitely. And this is the thing as well. That's what I keep telling people: stop trying to challenge the council on their authority to collect council tax or their authority to enforce. Don't challenge their authority. Challenge their actions and the enforcement actions once it's gone past that point, then because they are breaching your GDPR. That is the fact. So we all know, everybody knows, there is no such thing as a legally executed liability order. They do it through an administration process that we know through Leighton versus Bristol and Suda that if they are enforcing a debt without a signed court order, which what a liability order is, it still has to have a signed court part of it, right? And they never do because we know they don't exist because they were removed in 2003. They've never replaced it. They were told never ever print one off ever again, and they still use the administration process.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just from where I am, what he's saying there is, don't go after them for what they're doing, go after them for the data. I want to go after them for both because I'm a fighter. But what I would say to a lot of people, if you get involved in this, start asking them for your data, and I get it will slow things down. Now, I just want to bring in here, me and this gentleman here, Dennis Crawford, we were both UKIP Breckland councillors together, and we were the official opposition to the Conservatives. Not that we knew what we were doing at the time. You good people put us in. But we went for an agenda item when I was a Breckland councillor, where the item was to write off a substantial amount of unpaid council tax at the Breckland level. And it was a massive amount of money. And I remember, because I'm a Gobby Scouser, I put my hand up and said to the cabinet members, what's this all about? Can we do this? And they wouldn't get into any dialogue with us, would they? No. And because of the whip system and the majority of them are Conservatives, the vote was always going to get carried. So Breckland Council voted to write off a large amount of council tax. When we were councillors, we were there. Now, what we're finding out now with everything that you're listening, what they do then is, they then sell the data on the debt. The data on the debt gets put into bundles and packages, and it gets sold off to debt collector agencies. Now, those debt collectors give money to the council to buy that data. They then come after you, they then knock on your door, terrify your wife, terrify your kids, and they have got no lawful contract to do that. The problem we've got is the council unlawfully is backing them up from what I can see. Yeah. And this system is totally corrupt, and this is happening all over the country. It's not here. We've got to start comprehending the game and putting a stop to this.
Yeah, just to add to that, the only people that can come to your door are court appointed. All the rest of them are private companies.
Did you get anything from that, lads?
Yes,
yeah, keep in touch. Yeah, we run seminars, we have get-togethers. We all need to learn together.
Facebook groups.
Yeah, just keep it. All the best, lads.
Yeah, and it's really important. The other really important thing is that we've never actually refused to pay them. We've never said we're not paying. All we've been saying is, I'm withholding that payment until you can answer these questions. And they can't answer the questions.
Right, a lot of us are further down the line than a lot of you who are sitting in this room. All we're trying to do is to get you to put your toes in the water and start finding out what is going on, because as Tesco says, every little helps.
Could you just clarify that about the debt? If somebody buys the debt, are they just buying the money, or are they buying the data of the person who accumulated the money?
The data. They're buying the data, not the debt. What they'll do.
Has that been tested?
Yeah, this guy here.
Okay,
yeah.
Just wondered.
Yeah, Peter Wilson, he's brilliant.
Right, sir. So what I'm saying to you is,
question over there. That's right, no, carry on.
The debt gets written off by the council, and then they get money, usually through selling the data.
Yeah.
However, in this area we have a middleman called the ARP, Anglia Revenue Partnership. 4 councils have started their own debt collection company. So if the ARP can get some money off you, they get some money in there. This thing is bigger than that. Now we've got the reform councillors. Because the way I comprehend it is that once they sell the data, that debt is gone as far as the council is concerned. So how can the council keep sending you letters saying we're going to come and break your toes if you don't pay us, if they've given the debt to the debt collectors? So we've got the reform councillors on that for us, which is why I wanted them here tonight. Because they're the only ones who's going in and asking questions, God bless them, I'll give them the jail, I'm not saying both of them, but God bless them at the minute, they're asking questions. And nobody else, because Labour and Conservative and Liberals are a closed shop. They're all controlled, at least at the minute the reform people at the lower end are not controlled at the minute, and they are causing trouble on behalf of us. That's what I'd say. What was you going to say? Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say it'd be a good idea, Bob, I think, if you've got with Chris, to let people know what questions to ask the council, to withhold the council tax until they...
Which is why you can't have a template.
Yeah.
Every single individual has got their own.
Yeah.
You know, they will get different answers from the council at different times. But the funny thing is, the council actually say to you, we do not accept templates. And yet, they'll send you a template in letters. Yeah.
Just finish this off, just for a minute, too.
Without any legal backup, and that's the fact. They haven't got the legal backup. There's no signatures, there's no proper actual paperwork. And for a court order to be valid, you can't just have a letter from the council saying, oh, well, they owe us money. And that's where Leighton versus Bristol and Sutton comes into its power. So there we know that there is no liability order, and therefore, this is where it comes into GDPR, there is no legitimate interest for them to have your data, which means they've sold data to Bristol and Sutton in their Leighton case, or any of those other parasites. They're actually processing your data, and what happens when you ask, oh, we need to see, or give them the SER, they ignore the SER, they never reply at all, ever. That's a breach after 30 days. Doesn't matter what it is. It's a breach, so you can sue them for not replying. It doesn't matter what else they do.
Well, I assume they can be sued in their absence. So I'm like, if they're not replying to that,
yeah. So basically, what we're seeing there is, if you go down the SAR on the data route and they don't give you the information within 30 days, you've now got a lawful case against them.
Yeah.
So what you know what? I mean, we
They're
need
talking about £5 a pop.
Yeah, we need to start talking about this and coming up with a bit of a plan we can put out to the people where we just, this is the fight back, this is how we start fighting them back.
Something that Peter Wilson just mentioned there, he spoke about Leighton versus Bristow and Sutton, right? Wayne Leighton is now in the Royal Courts of Justice. This Saturday, there's a couple of us going to go down to support, hopefully we can get in. But this is all about the council tax. And Wayne Leighton is now the Royal Courts of Justice. That's where this is going. So 2 o'clock Saturday, anyone fancies a trip?
But just to sum it up, with what's happened with Zach and the unlawful paperwork he got to drive that issue, what's happened with me and Bob with the council tax, we've both been told by the courts that there's nothing there for us. We're not in court. However, the council have hired this place privately at the end of the building, and because we haven't in effect turned up really, I mean, even though you were there, we haven't agreed to anything, they've produced what they call the liability order. Now I've got mine through the post, have you not got yours yet?
I haven't got mine.
Yeah, I've
So
got
tell them why.
See, me and Bob are on 2 slightly different paths in a minute, and
Mine's different in that I'll try and get through it quick as possible. So I wasn't on the list. Oh, you must be here for the council tax, really, you know. And anyway, so they went in, asked the usher came, called me in, said, oh, you're not on the list. Yeah, I know. He said, you must be here for council tax, so I'll go and have a chat with the ladies who have rented the room. So he's gone in, had a chat, and then he's come out and he said to me, would you like to see a magistrate? Right. Bear in mind I've been summoned to the court. Right. And I said, well, that's a bit of a daft question, really, because I assumed I'd be going before a magistrate anyway. And anyway, so he said, oh no, you can choose. No shit, you couldn't make it up, could you? So, no, you can choose. So I said, well, I'm not choosing, you're choosing because you brought me here. So he's gone back into the council workers, and then he's called me over and he said, come and have a chat with them. And as I walked in the room, they said, oh, you've come to set up a payment plan. I said, no, I haven't. I said, I've been summoned here, and I told them why I was challenging it, and this, that and the other, the 24 legal documents, and so on and so on. So I started asking them questions about who was actually bringing the claim against me. Who? Not what, who? West Suffolk Council. So West Suffolk Council is a building. How can a building bring a claim against me? Who in that building is bringing a claim against me? And with that, she stormed out. Right? Security guards come along, and I said, are you evicting me? They said, we don't know. So I've gone back to the foyer and had a great chat with the security guards, one of which I taught how to drive. And anyway, so then a security guard's come out, would you like to see a magistrate? So I went through the same blah, 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 again. And so he went away, and then he came back again, and he said, the magistrate said he would like to see you. Yes. So in I went. So I've gone in, and I overheard the council lady saying to the magistrate, it was three on the bench, I'm ever so sorry, sir, I'm not prepared because I didn't know he was going to turn up. Right? At this point, the legal clerk at the front of the court said, hi, this is Bob. She actually read out my full name. And whoa, I'm not that name, I'm Bob. I'm just Bob. You can just call me Bob. So, he's here, and there's 617 on the list today.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, bear in mind, this is at 75 quid a head. That's how much the court are making. Right? So, anyway, he said, would you like to speak? And I said, yeah, great, thank you. Can I take your names? No. Right? So then we had a bit of a backwards and forwards about how rude it was, you know, not to give me your names. I'm in a strange building, I don't come to places like this, I'm a good boy, you know, and all that. And so that calmed down. Is there anything else you would like to ask? And I said yes, and I'd taken an English Oxford dictionary and a Black's Law dictionary. And I held them up and said, which language are we speaking today? And he said, English. I said, great, so I take it we're in a common law court then. He said, there's nobody on this bench qualified to answer that question. Right? So there was a bit of a backwards and forwards on that point. And anyway, so then the legal clerk said, sir, may I suggest, if this line of questioning continues, we grant the liability order against him and mark him down as absent. So I've gone freaking nuts then. I'm stood in the middle of this court going, hello, hello, I'm a man, I'm waving my arms around, I'm a man in the room. That'll calm down. Is there anything else you'd like to ask? I was saying about falsifying court documents and all that. Anything else you'd like to ask? And I said, yeah, have you sworn your 2 oaths? He said, I've sworn 1 oath. And I said, who's that to? He said, King and country and the government. I said to him, you know the government is an arm of the United Kingdom Corporation Limited, registered on Dun & Bradstreet as a private company. And with that, they shut their books and they all walked out. They left the room. For one, they can't deal with a man, and you just expose them as a private company.
So ladies and gentlemen, we've hit you with a lot there on that agenda item. Has anybody got any questions on anything that we've said?
That's brilliant.
I think one way you could shortcut some of that is to go to the council and say, instead of giving me a bill, give me an invoice.
Yes.
And remind them of the Nolan principles. Because when you're asking for an invoice, you're moving yourself into commercial world, and there is no contract, so they can never prove there is a debt.
Exactly.
and Chris Coverdale. Everyone knows Chris Coverdale, right?
For those who don't, looking at Chris Coverdale.
Yeah.
No, but this is the thing, for you know, we need to go into the jurisdictions of the land, the air and the water here. What jurisdiction are we in? You know, this is what we're now starting to learn. We cause murder because we asked them which jurisdiction we're in. You know, so we're not in the water, I'm on the land. You know, so we cause carnage, and what we're trying to get this information across to the people, because once the people start to learn this information and start fighting back, we can bring this corrupt system down. That's my point. Yeah. No, I never thought I'd be saying that.
It is, well, that was my parting shot as I walked out. I said to them, they need to choose which side they're going to be on, because their administrative system is in collapse.
Can I just add one more little thing on that? Don't refuse to pay,
No.
because that's when they get you for contempt court. Like you said, I will pay you when.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just ignore them. Has anybody got any questions on anything? Don't be.
The unlawful fraud in creating the paperwork is exactly what happened to me from British Gas. Exactly the same thing. I can't get no answer from anybody. John Gill was taking up my case, and he asked them 6 times. I sent them 3 communication letters, and I still got an answer.
Well, where we're on to at the minute is, I'm speaking to the court, actually to Brackland about where the paperwork he's come from at the minute. I'm following it up next week. I'm also following my paperwork. We're following up this liability order. This is where we need the reform characters who are not here tonight, and we're going to hit the council with it when the council decides to have another meeting.
That was why when we had that, I've come on and filmed your meeting with the, was it forum?
Reform, yeah.
Reform. I asked them a question they didn't know anything about, and they all said yes, we didn't know.
Yeah, no, the people don't know this, look.
And they're supposed to be having a Prime Minister representing them like that.
How are you supposed to know this? We've only stumbled onto this since the lockdown.
Well, I just said on the day, everybody here knows about it, and they didn't.
Yeah, because they're not,
they're not down the path.
Yeah, people are at different levels, aren't they? I mean, you still got people driving around in cars in masks. Do you know what I mean?
The reason people don't know things is because it's been done over years for different governments and political parties. It's all designed to confuse people, so people don't know. Because if people knew, it would all have been sorted out years ago. And people have touched on it for years and years, and it's suppressed.
And we're getting there.
And, yeah.
We're getting there.
So it's the political system in that aspect is designed to make it complicated, make it confusing. One of the reasons is to make people give up because it's too stressful to pursue it. Basically, that's the whole thing about it.
And a good point on Roy's one, the fact that you're not hearing anything, I think is a good thing.
I mean,
so that's the best we'll get. They will never ever hold their hands up and say, yeah, we're bad.
£2,500 and they changed my account number to a different number. I haven't agreed.
Yeah.
So I was in dispute, and when it's in dispute, they can't bring a warrant out against them.
No.
And they've done it.
The thing is with councillors, and there's a belief that they know everything. They don't. Aaron, Jeff, Bob, Zach, Chris and myself, we went to countless Bury St Evans or West Suffolk meetings, and I remember Aaron and Jeff giving the councillors a piece of paper to go away and come back a month's time and have a look it up. And do you remember? They come back and said they was horrified, they didn't even know. So it's important that we speak to these councillors in the right way, in a non-provocative way, and enlighten them as to what they're not aware of. If you go in there and saying you don't know anything, you're going to put their backs up.
Yeah.
It's all right about how we conduct ourselves and how we present ourselves, in my opinion.
Yeah. Got to be in good standing.
100%.
But don't back down.
One thing as well, like, we'll watch that video and we see how the police were maybe. Or feel free to phone up the police office and tell them how disgusted you are at the end of the day.
Complaints.
And Brackland Council. You don't necessarily have to hang on to the phone all day. Send them an email.
Yeah, emails or paper.
Yeah.
Don't do stuff on the phone.
No.
You need a paper trail of everything.
On that Brecon Council bit, when you were trying to contact the officers of Brecon Council and everything, am I correct in saying you were directed to one particular phone or one particular person only?
The minute I mentioned the caravan last Thursday,
Yeah.
the shit hit the fan. The lady I was speaking to started to tell me that I was being abusive to her. And I said, look, I'm taking it.
Give me time, I'm just getting started.
Just warming up.
Just in a row.
And then it come out that there's one phone number that's been left. Anything to do with the caravan has got to go through this one phone number. So basically, it's a red hot potato.
Yeah.
And eventually, after I got a phone call from somebody called Ned. And I had a conversation, and he wants me to, because I hit him with the paperwork was not right. He wants me to send everything through an email, which I will be doing tomorrow. So it's still ongoing with Brecon. We're making it, you know.
It will be.
Have you got that?
Mark,
Yes, I've got the original.
Mark, isn't it interesting how quickly they got Zach off of there?
Yeah.
When you take into account the amount of travellers that just go into parks and stay on parks, they got him off so quickly.
No, what I would say,
And went heavy-handed.
This might not be the low-hanging fruit that they really wanted.
no, what I would say is being an ex-count, the one thing I learned being a Robin Peven Scouser, squatty paratrooper, the minute the Jippos came into town, I was getting upset because it was taking too long. And then when they left, I wanted to chase them down the road with the rubbish and throw the rubbish in the caravans. And I got told by the council I was too aggressive. But what we've realised now, everything that we're talking about now, the travelling community know this. They don't register. They don't register the kids with their birth certificates.
Yeah, not in the system,
They
are they?
know how to play the system. So what will happen is they know that they can stay there for a certain amount of time, try out the legal system, and then they'll move on to the next place. And they'll do the same thing. So that's what they do. But what Zach's done, he's coming in good faith and saying, I'm staying here. They would have been happy if he'd have been a gypsy. But what he's done, he's just said no. And what the Thetford Community Project has said, this doesn't belong to anybody, we're going to look after it. And that has played with their mind.
And it's lit a firework.
It's lit a fire underneath them, which is why they've been so pushy.
And with the 10, they were there the very next day.
Yeah.
Let the police here in the afternoon,
Damage.
and then the council round them in the evening.
Took that long.
And I got a phone call last Tuesday, because they were down there again, putting them posts in on the Wednesday. Yeah, I went down there, they'd already gone, but
Is there any other last minute questions on anything we've covered? You happy, Nadia? Have we come across with clarity?
I think you've been absolutely excellent. I think you're an absolute asset to the
And do you know one thing?
community. It's really well done.
One thing, Mark. One thing, and I hope that the council will be looking at this, because you guys, you're showing them, you're teaching them the way it should be. You are consulting with the public, getting feedback from the public, listen to the public and showing patience with the public. The council don't do that.
No.
And they need to learn that we are the people who employ them.
Exactly.
go to the next council meeting. It's on the 30th of September. You'll understand exactly what you just said, right?
And you'll see how they
Ask a question, ask a question.
Yeah, I've done
I
it.
think we'll all be asking a lot of questions.
I've done it. Yeah, I've done it.
That actually we'll push through now. That takes us on to the next agenda item, which we don't really need to speak about. You said it all there, Terry. It's let the council not meeting for 2 months. I've got down the council do not consider the people, and the council are not interested in the people. You know, which is, you know, why last month he said we've got nothing to talk about. The council should be there to represent us. They might think they've got nothing to talk about, but they should be meeting with us, because there's lots of things going on with Thetford that's news going on.
If that was the case, it wouldn't happen all year.
Well, we're obviously concerned. We live on Pine Close. We're concerned about the asylum seekers. I don't know if you've heard about it.
Yes, we do. Yeah,
we want to know what's going on with
Can
that.
I add to that
We've
point?
got young children.
I live Kingsbelt as well.
We've got young children we've been told there's
Yeah.
18 adult men going in there across the road from
Two
the park.
minutes.
Yeah.
Do you know, I went to
and,
Bury Council.
Hillary Way as well, apparently.
Hillary Way.
Which is right
Yeah.
by the
school.
the front of Queen's Way.
Conveniently.
The school market
This
closed.
looks overseeing the playground.
Right, listen, what we plan to do next week, because at the minute it's more on the rooms in India and
Yeah.
we're going to get around a few people next week, and if you can feed back to us
Yeah.
what you find, and what we'll do is I'm going to hit some official
Can I jump in here?
Yeah.
Because I was speaking to somebody from Reform today, who's, what's her name, sorry? Dee. Works in the butchers, and she says it's 99% pretty much going to happen. It's HMO.
Well, it ain't.
As well. No, but that's what... Well, no, but the government and the council want it to happen.
Yeah.
They've agreed. So, sorry, not going to happen for definite, but that's what they've agreed. That's what
I think they've bought in on it.
If I can rephrase it. So they've wrote roughshod over people of Thetford, well, like they are other towns, they're just throwing it on us, inappropriate place. But, so what my question would be to them, and nobody seems to know, is are these young males, are these families who've been here 5 years, are these people who've been in the country 2 weeks and just come in?
Come off that boat.
Yeah, well, this is what I don't know.
Suitcases.
In HMOs, I think that's...
Now, my argument as well would be that there's people I know in Thetford who are waiting for council properties, and they've been waiting a long time. And my mate, he applied for one, and the council point blank told him not to bother to apply for one. He's better off going private because the waiting list's too long.
Well, it's everybody private. If they can do it, they can.
Yeah,
Everybody.
but yeah, they're going to bring people in. Everyone knows the story. Undocumented migrants who come here illegally, no paperwork, don't know who they are. They're going to put them into properties which should be going priority to people in Thetford.
I've got my flags up.
Right.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, what I would say to you, you know what's going to happen. We're going to turn into what's happening all around the country. This Norwich, down in London. Now, the Bell Hotel, there's been a court order that the government cannot force it onto the council. Now, I know that the government are doing an appeal against it at the minute, which I don't think the appeal will go through, hopefully. Now, what that means is that we've then got to put pressure on our council by turning up, being noisy, and saying we're not having this.
Waterlooville done it. Waterlooville had a group of flats in the centre of the
we've seen
town,
it, but what
and
I'm saying...
they got it removed because people power, 10,000 on a signature.
Right, so therefore, what we're trying
the
to...
government relented and Home Office relented.
So this is what we're saying to the people of Thetford now. Once this goes through, we're going to have to put that pressure on. But the people we're attacking is the council. We're going to have to be all over the council like the rest of them.
Well, Alan wanted to say something about the council, didn't you?
Yeah, Suffolk News have written a piece about Bury West Suffolk Council, and it took a £900,000 bunce off the government to house 400 illegal migrant men, Afghan men, into Bury St Edmunds in private rented accommodation, with JD Sports supplying them £500 per person for trainers and new clothes. Right. So I went against them in the streets of Bury St Edmunds every weekend, and they're sending a copper out every time to come and question me. And it's not because of the amplified music or me speaking it in the streets. They're worried it's getting out to the community now. It's me for being a speaker in Bury St Edmunds, because they're worried that it get out to the wider community that these men are being housed by West Suffolk Council, which causes a danger to women and children, which I keep saying on the streets. Women and children are in danger of abuse and harm from these same men. So what I say to all these protesters going outside of hotels, you need to go to the head of the state. They want you to go outside the hotels, yes, they're in the hotels, we know that, but they're going to incorporate all these agendas if you go there. The police are literally wanting you to go there, they want you to go there. So you've got to go to top government, the head of the state. That's who's allowing the boats to keep shipping in. If you don't stop them, they'll keep coming in. Them men are only coming because the government are allowing them to come in. They're giving them gifting, and they're causing a racial segregation segregation and divide. That's exactly what the government want. They want you to fight over colour of skin, which is going to happen on the streets, and it is happening. But they want you. You need to be a top government. That's where you need to be. Their currency, all that crap. If you go outside a hotel, you're goading. The government have got you in a net. They've thrown a net over you. We've got to police the streets, but government is top government. That's where you got to be.
I've got to just slightly disagree with you. You've got to speak out. It's like Bob said before. Who's bringing a claim against you?
Exactly. I've questioned that. Who's bringing the claims? I sent a councillor out with a copper, and I said,
Well, you're in the court. He'll give you the advice, same as me. You don't mention your name. You don't understand. There's nothing verified of that.
well, just know that I might need your help soon, because that's what I was going to do, Bob, but I've emailed it, so I said, I'll tell you, I'll put the speaker outside your grounds, and I'll speak it into existence, so you know how pissed off I am.
Join the Free Speech Union.
Yeah.
If we do come to protest, if it comes to that, then the bloke who arranges the Norwich protest has been very vocal that he will support anybody in the area. To weight of numbers. His name's Glenn. He knows the legal system inside out. I personally know a lot of people who've been going around other protests, Canary Wharf, people all over the country because of what I do with social media for a living.
What I would say,
and it'd be easy for me to make it national and worldwide news within one video. I've got 6 million on the video views on one video before, and like 1 billion views worldwide. So that could be quite, it would be out there. But I've got to be sceptical and find out exact facts first before I.
From a Thetford point of view, anybody who's already starting to feel uneasy about this, you need to be at the council meeting in September, and you need to be noisy. You need to be loud.
Well, maybe we should bring our kids with us as well, so they don't hear them. They never kids got views and opinions.
Let's not forget what they've done to Nathan Kemp, one of their own. They're bringing all these that they don't know. What do they do to one of their own? Froze to death, -8.
Can I add something to that? I was down in Gambia, and when I was going back into the compound, I was attacked, almost killed. I'm still recovering from that. Senegal is worse than Gambia. They're picking these people in those areas and bringing them here. If that's what you want. But I want to add something as well on the council business. These people are supposed to be, not just council, government as well, are supposed to be doing what the people want. If they cannot show with empirical data that this is what the people want, then they have to be liable personally for damages. And that's what needs to be done, legal action. Councils need to bring legal action against the corporation called Parliament for all this treason, etc. That's their part of their duty.
Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look at what's on the table at the minute. Is they've ruled that government can't put them in a bell hotel. There is an appeal about to go on. Now, what that is, the council has gone against the government and beat them in court without us having to get up to anything strange. You with me? So that's on the table at the minute. What that means for us in Thetford is we've got to make noise to our council.
But that's not different, because that's a hotel and this is...
As a suggestion, do we also spend money on exactly the same day? Every single one of us make some noise about it. Just say, the Reddits, start copying
The thing is, that with the hotel, this is house of multi-occupancy, it's slightly different.
Yeah.
Hotels are under C1, C2 and C3 licences.
Where do you get the money from?
And they didn't have the proper licence to do it at the bell. So that's what they got done for. Houses of multi-occupancy are a whole different kettle of fish to actually challenge them on. You can challenge them on, but I don't know how, because it's a different thing.
Who gives them the planning permission? Which council gives out the planning permission? Breckland.
Yeah. Just out of interest,
don't
ladies.
like Thetford.
Just out of interest, ladies.
Breckland will give planning permission.
My child, my daughter. Mine ain't allowed out. Yeah, I don't. My
So when are they
daughter's now
planning to move
13,
in then?
and she's not even been out of the house. Won't let her.
Nobody seems
My
to
daughter's
know.
10, obviously. It was
When
the
find
first
out,
time we
do
were.
reconnaissance.
Because the council aren't going to tell us.
Away, my sister's
Don't
house.
say too much on camera.
Yeah.
I think it's on post asking for money.
We've got this gentleman here and this gentleman here.
When is the actual time for the next force meeting?
I think the problem is as well, there's a food hub down there that a lady runs.
What time?
Which is meant to be for homeless.
Yeah, so prior to that, I've got we'll work. September.
Yeah, we've got this one here now.
September, we also have the stag meeting.
Oh, yeah, when's that?
I can't remember what day.
Yeah, keep on that, we'll get everybody there.
I'll send an email out to somebody to make my goal tomorrow.
Mark,
The stag meetings are very helpful because it is the police, the council and the people. And you can go there and you can ask any questions you like and usually you get an answer. The old stag meetings, we got answers from them.
Everybody's got to be at the stag meeting.
But the stag meetings, if we can get enough people there, that will wind them up no end, I'll tell you. I used to be on the stage for
Mark,
it's usually held in Guildhall.
I've got one quick question at the back, that one.
Some of us don't know what a stag meeting is.
It's the Schaefer Thetford Action Group, and it's where people are allowed to come and ask questions of the police. They have police there. And they have closed ones and they have open ones. The closed ones are usually, there's a committee of people from around the town go to the closed ones, but an open one, anybody from the public can go in.
September.
Yeah. And that next one is in September. You're going to say...
Mark, this young lady here, I've just asked a question, these ladies here, have their children been approached? These young ladies had their children approached?
Yeah. Yeah, she's 10 years old, she got approached. They literally turned around and asked her for money. They're drunk.
I think the people outside the food hub.
Yeah. Plain clothes shop, yeah.
I live in King's Bell, so I know.
I want it gone. It's not safe.
Any advice, Mark?
Can I say one thing? What I'm trying to do in Bury is get the men specifically to take notice of it. So if you've got a group of men in the community that know there's a child, because this Chris Hargreaves, this plank on the bike to everyone's going to travel around the country, pay some money into a membership. Rubbish. You can do it in your own community with your own. And if there's a child being attacked, you have the men to go to the source and you sort it out yourself. You police it.
We're looking at starting the militia.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
I think I
highlight it.
Not really, he won't take any
in that case, maybe
council meeting.
So in that case, maybe go to a council meeting and have what 8
We need
minutes
to
or
fill
whatever it
the
is.
council meeting up with people.
Yeah.
With women and children.
Women and children, you fill it up with women and children. My child is petrified, she's 13, she's never been out.
You've got that gentleman again at the back there.
Can I make another little suggestion with strategy with the council meeting questions? Used to go to Colchester Council Watch, and Rachel and Corinna were doing a very good job of that. What happened was, I got cancelled, I couldn't go. But I had Graham Moore coming, and I had Lance from Peacekeepers, so 3 of us were going down. So when they threw me out, you had somebody to follow up with asked questions, why'd you throw him out? Fortunately, the police didn't actually throw me out, I was alright, I managed to survive that one. But, just follow up, so you're prepared for that.
It's slightly different here. We've had to take the council meeting over when they walked out. They only give you 15 minutes and they close it down. I think what's going to happen with the people is the people are going to have to insist on more than 15 minutes.
Stand the ground.
We just block the door so they can't walk
exactly.
May I suggest,
hang on, you've got this money.
It's on your agenda anyway, but may I suggest that when you attend these council meetings, take your St George flag with you.
I'm just going to go on to that now, I'm glad you said that. Right, and you know that, I've just travelled up and down the country and a lot of people have. I'm basically on all the motorway, the M6, everywhere, there's England flags out and there's
the A303 is full.
And there's the Union flag out. And basically, it's all sides of the community are back on the flag because this seems to be going against
The
the
St
agenda.
George flag.
Yeah.
Not the British flag.
Right. Don't go there because I'll give you. I've had this discussion for 2 days. People don't know about what you're talking about. If they're stepping forward 3 feet in the direction, let them go with that, and then we'll educate them later. You with me?
Not the British flag, no.
No, it's so we'll have to agree to disagree on that, and I know more than that on that. But basically, the flags are going up anyway. What I'm saying is, should we be putting more flags up in Thetford?
Yes.
what will be the council's reaction to the flags? Okay, when they cut them down, who pays to take them down? And who will run out of money or patience first?
We pay it because we're paying their wages.
Tower Hamlets and other places, they gave up taking them down. As soon as they came down, they went back up again. And they gave up.
Are there people in here that don't know what the British flag means?
I think you should say something for
So do I.
60 seconds. And I think you should emphasise that English is not It's not ethnic-centric. I think you should make that very clear.
The British flag is the corporation.
Look at the 1688 Bill of Rights.
That's basically it.
It's not.
So do you want to be waving a flag when you're waving it to the government and the Queen and the King and country when we know it's corrupt as fuck? So why would you want to fly that fucking flag, which is going to cause more segregation and division with people of colour of skin that hasn't been involved in the grooming gangs and all these men coming in the country? So now we're all going to fight each other. You're a different colour of skin as fight when the government are going, we got it. Racial divide again. I'm fine with the flag. I'm not proud of being British. I'm all of the flags.
British. Okay? So Brit represents Brith, which is a Hebrew word, which means covenant, which means contract. Ish is man. That is contract man. And that's what we're tracting.
Stop the money, forget the flag, stop the money.
Why would you want a flag at flying that Tommy Robinson's doing on a Saturday?
Not Tommy Robinson. Not Tommy Robinson is British Zionist.
He's a Zionist.
I'm English.
I know he's a Zionist.
I'm English.
So, there you go. I'm going to wrap it up now because it's too late. But I hope you've all enjoyed it. I don't know what I'm doing with this gimbal. I hope you've enjoyed that. Thank you to everybody who has watched. Sorry about the internet earlier. It was horrendous. But thank you for bearing with and sticking with us. And until next time, look after yourselves. Take care. And I will speak to you all again soon. Bye for now.
Are you going to put me on the video or not? Because
only if you would like.
No.